Matchday 11 in La Liga. EA Sports kicked off with the game between Espanyol and Sevilla at the RCD Stadium. Both sides are coming to this one off the back of very heavy defeats last time out. Espanyol fell 4-1 away to Athletic Club at San Mamés, and Sevilla actually lost in this very same city in Barcelona as they fell 5-1 away to Hansi Flick's Football Club Barcelona. So both sides were looking to get back to winning ways here. Espanyol slightly more than Sevilla. The home side coming into this one having lost 4 of their last 5. Sevilla were undefeated in their previous 3 before that 5-1 drubbing against Barcelona last time out. It was a very bright start, it has to be said, from the home team. First chance coming for Walid Chedida. Ball in from the left. And Chedida hitting it first time over the bar. Sevilla were trying to play out from the back and were really struggling. Espanyol pushing them back, leading to corners and balls in from the side, but not really any clear-cut chances for Orjan Nerland to deal with in goal. Here we see from this corner, nothing too much for Sevilla's defence to worry about. They did come close though here with this free kick from Álvaro Tejero, who had actually scored from a free kick. What was a consolation goal last time out against Athletic Club. A nice touching tribute in the 16th minute, and applause for both Antonio Puertas as well as Dani Jarque. Both Sevilla and Espanyol sadly losing players many years ago. 2 players gone way too young in Puertas and Dani Jarque, both remembered by both sets of fans at the RCD Stadium. Lovely touch on the night. Sevilla, on the other hand, at the other end, took the lead with their first chance of the game. And what a goal it was as well. Dodi Luque-Bacchio, 19 minutes into the game. Albert Sambi-Lokonga in midfield really ran the show for García Pimienta's side, and he was able to just lay off the pass for Luque-Bacchio, who took up a central position temporarily and just quite simply let fly and curled the ball right into the top corner past Joan Garcia. Here we'll see, completely unmarked, no one closing him down. But how about that for a finish? It's a lovely goal from the Belgian international. This would be his 4th goal of the season. One he no doubt will definitely remember, but this was not just the first shot, or the first shot on target, it was the first chance of the matchup for Sevilla. Luckily for them, it ended in a goal. Espanyol, minutes later, had a golden opportunity to make it 1-1. Chedida helping on a ball in from a corner at the front post. And neither Kral or the returning Javi Puado could get a touch on it at the back post. Luque-Bacchio's corner later on in the half was then eventually picked up by Juanlu, but his shot would not go on target. Just over the crossbar, in fact. Juanlu trying to find his 2nd goal of the season. It was another set piece for the visitors where García Pimienta's side tried to double their lead. It was a good ball in for Nemanja Gudel, and Tanguy Nianzou had actually got into a great position, but the French defender slipped at the worst possible moment and ended up hitting the ball straight into the hands of Joan Garcia. Sevilla, after that nervy start that we were talking about, quite simply grew into the game and were really solid in possession, holding on to 60% of the ball for the remainder of the game. And here once again it was a lot of space right down the spine of the Espanyol team through the middle. Sambi-Lokonga looking to pick out Juanlu. His shot was blocked, and so too was the second effort from Isaac Romero. Sevilla looking much the better side, especially after taking the lead. Possession really didn't seem to be an issue. Sevilla not looking too dangerous going forward, but with the game firmly under control. Espanyol in the first half at least were trying to get back on level terms. Many balls into the box from Álvaro Tejero, and here he almost set up Brian Olivan for what would have been a superb goal had it have come off, but Brian Olivan's first time effort Went straight into the hands of the Sevilla goalkeeper, Nerland. Caught it superbly first time, though, has to be said, the Espanyol left-back. Carmona would then go on a long darting run all the way to the opposing penalty area. Lukebakio would try and pick out a teammate with a cross, but Sevilla would hold on to possession. This is actually in the last minute of the first half. You think the danger has gone away. Lukebakio keeps the ball alive. Juanlu then lays off the ball here. And look at this. Lukebakio just gives himself that extra yard of space and again curls the ball on his left foot into the bottom corner. This time down low. And just before the break, Sevilla were 2-0 up thanks to a delicious double from Dodi Lukebakio. This now, his 5th goal of the season, which funnily enough means he has already, 11 games into the campaign, equaled his tally from the entirety of last season. He scored 5 goals in 23 La Liga appearances in his first campaign. That was last term. He's already got 5 goals this time around. It's fairly poor from Espanyol. 6 players in the penalty area, and yet Lukebakio, with one simple move of his feet, gives himself enough room to then beat Joan Garcia down low and double Sevilla's lead. García Pimienta, just see there, begging his side to shoot, and Lukebakio did just that. Images now of the second half. Alejo Vélez and Carlos Romero came on 10 minutes into the second half for Espanyol. Alejo Vélez facing his former side as well. He spent the club half the season last year on loan at Sevilla. The negative of the night, though, for the visitors was this moment here. Oyan Nerland jumping for the ball, landing awkwardly, it seems, on his knee, and he instantly kicked the ball away and had to be substituted. It might, in fact, have been his ankle, but he landed awkwardly. He instantly knew something was wrong, and he was the one who kicked the ball out of play. In his place came Álvaro Fernández to make his Sevilla debut, and it actually came against one of his former sides in Espanyol. Valentin Barco would be joining him in coming on. This was about an hour into the game. The other change, the player coming off, was Stanis Idumbo Muzambo, who was making his first start for Sevilla after scoring his first goal for Sevilla last time out in that 5-1 defeat away to Barcelona. Funnily enough for Idumbo, this was his 3rd appearance. He made his debut against Girona, scored his first goal against Barcelona, and he made his first start against Espanyol. All 3 appearances for Sevilla against 3 Catalan clubs. Valentin Barco was his replacement, and as we say, Álvaro Fernández, not to the warmest of receptions, came on to face his former club and make his Sevilla debut, replacing Oyan Nerland. Later into the half, Peramilla and Antonio Roca would come on for Espanyol as they look to try and get back into proceedings. Jofre Carreras was one of the players coming off, and the other would see Omar El Hilali make way. Espanyol, similar to Sevilla, but only won 3 games so far this season. These 2 sides, all 3 of their victories have come on home soil. Sevilla were looking to close in on their first win on the road. Peramilla trying to do everything he could here against former Espanyol man Adrià Pedrosa, but could only settle for a corner. It's fair to say it was a second half of very few chances. This was the closest. Alejo Vélez heading just wide from this corner, coming close to scoring against his former side. Not too far away at all from Álvaro Fernández's goal. Espanyol, in fact, coming into this one winless in their last 10 La Liga fixtures against Sevilla. Definitely a side they've always struggled against, and Sevilla had so much of the ball in the middle of the park that Espanyol really struggled to try and get back at least on level terms, if not get at least a consolation goal. Yet another corner here. They would actually end up having more than 10 corners on the night. Not really taking much advantage of any of them, it's fair to say. Javi Puado, who was making, as we say, his return to the starting 11 from injury, had this chance in space, then cutting onto his right, but all he could do was force yet another corner. It was a poor attempted clearance there from José Ángel Carmona. There was then a penalty given by the referee. Shouts from the Espanyol players for a handball. And it looked like, more than anything, it was actually a foul from Álvaro Fernández in an attempt to try and head the ball away, but the referee would go over to look at the screen, and it was actually given as a free kick in Sevilla's favour as Adrià Pedrosa was brought to the ground. There was no handball in that move either. As we say, the official Miguel Ángel Ortiz Arias went over to double check, and it was a foul. In the final minutes, Jesus Navas came on in what is now his farewell tour around Spain. We know he will be retiring at the end of December, but the Sevilla captain actually came on to make his 510th La Liga appearance for the club, as the final action of the game saw Djibril Sow force a late corner for Sevilla. He was playing as a makeshift striker for the final couple of minutes, but that would see that come to an end. Final score at the RCD Stadium was Espanyol 0, Sevilla 2.